I know it's next man up mentality, but having lost Malcolm just before the game, and what has that kind of done to this defense?
Obviously, it's a horrible, unfortunate situation. We love Malcolm. He brings a lot of juice, and he's a great player. So seeing one of our brothers, get hurt, it sucks, but it's the National Football League at the end of the day.
Just as the 2024 NFL season was about to kick off, terrible news came out of the Las Vegas Raiders training camp that burgeoning star Malcolm Koonce had suffered a non-contact injury to his knee and was immediately placed on injured reserve, guaranteeing that he would miss the first 4 games of the regular season. This meant that last year's number 7 overall draft pick Tyree Wilson would be taking his place as the starter opposite of Max Crosby. But in week 1, further disaster struck the Raiders as Tyree Wilson also suffered an injury that removed him from the game, and the extent of his injury is still unknown, leaving the Raiders thin at defensive end. To further complicate matters, rumors started coming out of the Raiders organization that Malcolm Koonce's injury to his knee could be worse than initially thought and potentially putting him out for the entire season. This meant that backup defensive ends Janarius Robinson and Charles Snowden were thrown into the fray. And while they played as well as could be expected for backup defensive linemen, it's clear that the hopes of the Raiders having the best defensive line in the NFL has suffered a major blow in the absence of Malcolm Koonce. General Manager Tom Telesco set to work to add some depth back to the team and did just that by signing former first-round draft pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars, DeClavion Chason, to the practice squad. While Chason has shown some promise, he is yet to live up to that 20th overall pick status and may not be the clear answer for a replacement of Malcolm Koonce. With that being said, there are now rumors of a possible trade between the New York Jets and the Las Vegas Raiders for Haasan Reddick, who is currently holding out over contract negotiation disputes with the Jets and has now requested a trade. In exchange, the Jets would receive a tight end, Michael Mayer, who was drafted in the 2nd round last year. The reason this trade has been suggested is due to the fact that the Raiders used their 13th overall draft pick this year for star tight end Brock Bowers, who I made a video about, who is already setting records in the first 2 weeks of the regular season, thus leaving Michael Mayer on the bench. But Michael Mayer is no slouch at tight end. He was arguably top 5 tight end coming out of the draft last year and showed a lot of promise in his rookie season, but only putting up 304 yards and 1 touchdown in his rookie outing does leave a lot of questions answered about his level of production and capability. And it appears now that the Raiders are not utilizing the 12-man personnel, which would have him and Brock Bowers on the field at the same time. He appears to be the odd man out. With the Raiders' victory over the Baltimore Ravens, the Raiders are still in a hunt for a playoff run, as teams who start out 1-1 have a 44% chance of making the playoffs versus teams who start out 0-2 only having a 9% chance. This means the Raiders are still in win now mode, and they have a glaring need at defensive end to help them achieve this goal. So trading Michael Mayer for a proven pass rushing specialist like Reddick just makes sense, at least on paper anyway. But let's dig into Reddick's career and find out if this is a trade that would really benefit the Raiders or could end up becoming another Chandler Jones disaster. All that and more on today's episode of the Raider D Podcast. All right, before we jump into this video, I just want to say to all my guys out there, if you are sick and tired of traditional wallets being thick, bulky, and you want to modernize your wardrobe, you got to check this out. This amazing titanium innovation of a wallet. This is the only wallet I will carry, and no, I am not sponsored by them. They probably don't even know I exist, but I just love their wallet so much. It is slim, it is comfortable, and it is convenient. You put all of your cards in there, you hit this little switch, and they flip out easy, and they go back in with a nice satisfying click, letting you know that your cards are safe and secure. I'll leave a link down in the description. It's also RFID protected. Go check them out again. Not sponsored by them, just love the product so much, but there is an affiliate link. So I may receive a small commission if you buy it from my channel. And that just goes to help out the channel. So check them out. It's absolutely awesome. I love it. Now that we put the kids to bed, the question is, who is Haasan Reddick? Well, he is a 29-year-old linebacker slash defensive end born in Camden, New Jersey, who stands 6'1" and 240 pounds. He was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals in 2017 in the first round with the 13th overall draft pick. His first 4 years with the Arizona Cardinals was a mixed bag, with his first 3 years being fairly unproductive in the pass rush. And only his 4th year did he have a breakout year of racking up 12.5 sacks. But this cannot be blamed on Reddick, as the Arizona Cardinals clearly were misusing him, having him lined up for the first 3 years as a middle linebacker. This is not his natural position or skill set. He is a pass rush specialist, not a run defender. And it was only in his 4th year the Arizona Cardinals finally got it together, and they wisened up and they put him on the defensive end position where he truly showed his potential. And of course, the Arizona Cardinals continued their mismanagement of this kid and did not exercise his 5th year option, letting him walk into the free agency, where he signed a modest 1-year deal with the Carolina Panthers, where he picked up a respectable 68 tackles, 11 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles and 1 fumble recovery. But this is where Reddick's career would take another turn, as he was fully expected to sign a long-term deal with the Carolina Panthers, but they were unwilling to meet his price tag, and so he ended up with the Philadelphia Eagles on a 3-year deal worth $45 million, including $14.2 million signing bonus and $30 million guaranteed, for an average annual salary of $15 million. In the first 2 years of his contract, he racked up an impressive 27 sacks, 87 tackles, 3 forced fumbles. But entering into his 3rd year of his contract with the Eagles, things turned sour and he was traded to the New York Jets. Apparently, he was unhappy with his deal and wanted to renegotiate with the Eagles and get a contract extension. And the two parties were unable to come to an agreement. The Eagles, they were able to get a 3rd round pick for him from the New York Jets and moved on from Reddick. But upon landing in New York, it appears as though the Jets had made a terrible mistake, as they were not going to be able to meet Reddick's contract extension demand. And now, 2 weeks into their regular season, Haasan Reddick is still holding out on them and is yet to play a single snap for the Jets. It is now at the point of no return, as Haasan Reddick has officially requested a trade from the Jets, pretty much putting the nail in the coffin of any future negotiations between the two parties. The Jets have a decision to make, and so does Haasan Reddick. Every week that he is holding out, he is losing guaranteed money, bonus money, as well as fines, already costing him over $1 million. It is very likely that a trade will happen, but the Jets hold all the cards. They could simply continue to punish him and his paycheck by letting him hold out and wait until the trade deadline, get the most out of the trade, hoping to at least get a 3rd round pick back for him. There are a few teams who have been reported interested in him, including the team who drafted him, the Arizona Cardinals, though this trade seems unlikely, as Haasan Reddick would most likely object to this. But there is one team out there who has the salary cap to afford him, as well as a glaring need for a pass rushing specialist on the defense, who is also good against the run, and that team is the Las Vegas Raiders. As mentioned earlier, the loss of Malcolm Koonce was a huge blow to the defensive line, and Haasan Reddick would be a plug-and-play upgrade over the current lineup of either Snowden or Robinson. The Raiders could certainly afford him. His contract currently is only $14.5 million, and giving him a contract extension somewhere in the $20 million per year range is certainly something the Raiders could do. And at 29 years old, giving him a 2-year contract extension at this rate would most likely be acceptable to Reddick. And he would be playing with a dominant defense, which he is used to doing. The big question mark with him is, will this be enough to keep him satisfied, or will he become a defensive diva, making further demands next offseason and then just requesting another trade if he's not given what he wants? Plus, if this trade were to happen, it is almost guaranteed that Malcolm Koonce, who is in his contract year, would not be with the Raiders next year, which is sad because he was finally coming into his own and showed a ton of upside potential as a defensive end pass rushing specialist. For me, if the Raiders know Koonce will not be back this year, and it's obvious that Michael Mayer will be sitting on the sideline the majority of the games, then it is a no-brainer to make this kind of a trade to upgrade our already great defense with a playmaker who will be an instant starter. But it's a risky move with Haasan Reddick's history of requesting trades. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Should the Raiders trade Michael Mayer for Haasan Reddick right now?